Welcome to Introduction to Excel. By the end of this recording, you should be able to add, to multiply, divide, and minus using Excel functions. So let's get started. But we are not only going to focus on those 4 operations of maths, guys. We're going to calculate the average as well. We'll create some graphs such as the pie chart, the bar graph, and the histogram. So let's get started. Looking at the first spreadsheet that we have here, on cell A, we have the number of items. We have apples, bread, milk, eggs, cheese, butter, sugar, and flour. On cell B, what we have the quantity of those items that we have on cell A, and also the cost price on cell C. Cell D, we have the selling price per unit. Please note that the cost price as well as the cost price per unit. So what do we need to do first? On cell E, we need to calculate the total cost. So you need to ask yourself, how do we calculate the total cost? So you go to cell E2. Cell E2, you select the cell, guys, the correct cell where you want to populate, where you want to write the answer. So you select the cell. Always after selecting the cell, always you press equals to. What you want to do now is to multiply the number of units for apples, and then you multiply by the cost price. Okay, so you're going to click on cell B2, click on 100. You don't manually type 100 or manually type B2. You go and left click on cell B2, and then you multiply. You multiply using what? On Excel, you multiply using the asterisk. Are we clear? You multiply using the asterisk. So you multiply by what? By cell C2. So the quantity times the cost price per unit. So please make sure that as well with the cost price, you do not manually type 5 rands, or you do not manually type C2. You click on 100, multiply by the 5, and then we press enter. So what is nice about Excel now, this is what you can do. So notice that I'm on cell E2. You move closer to that small dot that you see on cell E2. Bottom right of cell E2, we have that small dot. You move closer up until now. You go straight to that small dot. What do? You left click and hold. You drag all the way down, and then Excel will populate other answers for you. Okay, so let's move. Calculating the total revenue. What do we have? We have quantity, and we also have the selling price per unit. Again, to multiply, guys, we are going to use the asterisk. So you select the cell F2 equals to the number of quantity, click on 100, don't manually type 100, then you multiply by the selling price per unit. Okay, and then after that you press enter. Now you can ask Excel to populate other answers for you. You go straight to that small dot up until when? Up until we have the color black of your mouse. You left click and hold, you drag all the way down. Okay, so what else do we need? From this example, guys, we need to calculate the profit. How do we calculate profit? Profit is equals to revenue minus total cost. Okay, so to minus now, we are going to use the hyphen cell. We're going to use the hyphen symbol. Okay, so you select the cell equals to, you want to take 800, the total revenue. Click on cell F2. We are going to use the hyphen minus what? Cell E2 500, and then you press enter. So that is how you minus on Excel. Then what you need to do now, go back to the answer that you have populated, go straight to the small dot, you ask Excel to populate other answers for you. All right, and then what we need to do is to now introduce another formula, the sum function. Here guys, we are trying to calculate the overall total cost. Overall total cost, you select the cell, equals to, sorry, not overall total cost, overall total profit. So you select the cell, equals to, and then you start typing sum. After you start typing sum manually, you will have the drop down menu of different formulas, the sum, sum if, sum product, there are a lot. But on your side, you only want to click on the sum function. So you double click on the sum function, you'll have sum open bracket. Now you want to add all the profits that you have calculated. Click on cell G2 at the middle of the cell, not around or on the small dot. Now you are highlighting. You click exactly on the cell at the middle of cell G2. Then you highlight all the way down. And then after that, you're highlighting from G2 up until G9, shift close bracket, then you press enter. Okay, so we're getting hashtag here. So what we need to do, the only thing that we need to do is to just extend the cell, and then everything is perfect. All right, so let's move to another Excel spreadsheet. See, on this spreadsheet, as you can see, we have on cell A the items again: cappuccino, latte, espresso, muffin, croissant, iced coffee, sandwich, and we also have tea. On Monday, we have the number of items that were sold on Monday, the quantity that was sold for each item on Monday. On Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday as well, we are given the number of items that were sold for each. They were given the number of quantity that was sold for each item. So what we need to do now is to calculate the average. We need to introduce a new function, the average. So the average, you know that the average is the sum of values divided by the number of values. But with Excel, guys, we have the average function, the average. So you select the cell where you want to populate the answer, equals to, you start typing average. You don't need to type average in full, but you can if you want. What you do, you have the drop down menu of different formulas. Double click on the average formula, you will have the average of formula, open bracket. So what you want to do now is to highlight. When you're highlighting, click exactly on cell B2. From the first value that you want to highlight, click on the value exactly, not around. Then you highlight from Monday up until Sunday, from B2 up until H2, close bracket, enter. And then what do you do next? Now you want Excel to populate answers for the other averages. Okay, so now on your side, you go to that small dot again, left click and hold, left click. There's right click and left click. So when you're left clicking, you are using the index finger. Right clicking, you're using the middle finger. So left click and hold, you drag all the way down. All right. So what we want to calculate as well, the total sales per day. Total sales per day. Here are the number of items that were sold on Monday from cell B2 up until cell B9. So to calculate the total sales per day, you select the cell, equals to, and then by now you are already introduced to the sum function. You manually type sum, start typing sum, double click on sum. After that, what do? You are going to left click exactly on cell B2. Remember, you are not asking Excel to populate answers for you. You want to highlight now. There's a difference between asking Excel to populate answers or when you're highlighting. When you're highlighting, you click exactly on that cell B2. So you highlight from B2 up until B9, shift close bracket, then you press enter. You have populated the answer. You have calculated the total sales on Monday So what you need to do now is to just ask Excel horizontally to calculate the total on the other days as well. Then you're going to drag horizontally. Then voila, you have all the answers. And then what else do we need? The average daily sales, the average daily sales. So we're going to start with Monday as well. We are on cell B11. B11 equals to average. Start typing average. Don't need to type average in full. As you can see, we have different formulas there. On your side, you are only calculating the average, so you need to double click on the average. So highlight from cell B2 up until B9. Again, you're calculating the average when? On Monday. So shift close bracket. Shift close bracket, you press enter. Here the average on Monday. To get the average on the other days, you ask Excel horizontally to do what? Populate answers. So you're going to go to the small dot, left click and hold, you're going to drag horizontally. Okay, so that is how you add, you utilize the average, you calculate the average on Excel. So what else do we need to do? The percentage of sales on Saturday. Percentage of sales on Saturday. So percentage, it will be equals to percentage of sales on Saturday. You go and click on the sales that were made when? Saturday. G10. You divide using forward slash. You divide using forward slash. Okay, what else do we do? Calculating the percentage of sales on Saturday. So you're going to start typing sum. SUM, sum, double click on sum. So on your side, you need now to do what? To go to cell B10, cell B10, and then you're going to highlight from B10. You want the sum total sales per day. You're going to calculate the total sales per day. You are adding total sales of each day. So you highlight from B10 up until H10. After that, shift close bracket, you multiply using what? Asterisk, right? Multiply by 100. After that, what do? You press enter. Okay, so we are still doing the introduction, guys. I will upload another recording where I go now and introduce some advanced Excel functions, okay, as well how to absolute reference. So here I think as well you need to know how to create the bar graph. So to create the bar graph, for example, create the bar graph where you need to illustrate the total sales made per day. You need to click on cell A10. From A10, you highlight up until when? H10. Okay, so after highlighting, you click on the insert tab. After the insert tab, you will see just under automate or view review, you have recommended charts. Click on the first option here. You have 2D, 3D. So if you are creating now a bar graph, you can use 2D or 3D, any option. The first option on 3D. So as you can notice, we have the chart now. After having a chart, on the top right of the chart, we have chart elements where we have that cross. So you need to, as well, to include the chart title, axis title, data label, so that you can show the numbers on top. You can remove the grid lines, okay, so that your work can look professional and clean. So what you want to do is to make sure that you properly name your chart, give your chart a proper name, chart title, properly name your vertical axis, properly name your horizontal axis. All right, you can edit and change the axis title and properly name your chart. Let's move to another spreadsheet. So on another spreadsheet, what do we have? We are given items. We have items, shirt, jeans, sneakers, jacket, and then we have the original price as well. Original price of those items. Original price of t-shirt is 200. The discount percentage, it is how much? 15%. For jeans, notice, for t-shirt, notice for jeans we are not given the discount percentage, and then jacket as well, we are not given there the discount percentage. So if you can go to E, what we have, the discount amount, how much was the discount that was given in amount now? Okay, we have as well then cell F, the discounted price. So this is the price after minusing discount from the original price. Okay, so let's start by calculating the discount on which cell? D3, discount percentage of jeans. Discount percentage of jeans. So you will press equals to, always you press equals to. Here you can use the percentage change formula. Percentage change formula is the amount of increase or decrease divided by the initial value, the original value, then you multiply by 100. So I'm going to press shift, open bracket, the difference between the two values, original price 450 minus, using the hyphen, minus what? 405, shift, close bracket, and then you divide using forward slash. You divide using forward slash, divide by what? The original price of jeans. And then what you do, you multiply by 100 and you press enter. Then you will have the discount percentage. The discount percentage. So let's move. Jacket, the discount percentage. We have the original price of 1,200. We have the discount of 300. So you select the cell D5 equals to the discount amount divided, what do we divide using? Remember here, we are not just dividing for the sake of dividing. You need to understand Excel, learn Excel skills. So we divide using the forward slash. Divide using the forward slash, divide by the original price. Then we multiply using the asterisk. Okay, multiply by what? 100. Then now we have the discount percentage. So moving forward, you go to the discount amount, then again you're on cell E2, discount amount of jeans, where we're given the original price and the discount percentage. So equals to the original price of 200, then you multiply by the discount percentage, multiply by 15, C2 multiply by D2. You multiply using the asterisk. Divide using forward slash. Divide by what? You divide by 100, then you press enter. You'll have the discount amount. So I'm just going to repeat the same process here. So it will be the original amount times discount divided by 100. Then you get the discount amount. Did I do here? Right. The discounted price, now you should know that we are going to take the original price minus the discounted price to minus the discount amount and get the discounted price. Discounted price is the original price minus discount amount, and then you get the discounted price. So we're going to press equals to 200 minus the discount amount you minus using the hyphen, then you press enter, equals to again, what do we want? Original price of sneakers minus the discount amount of 160, then you press enter, jacket as well, you're going to repeat the same process. So we need as well to calculate the total discount amount. Total discount amount equals to, and then when you're adding 2, 3 or 4 items, you can use the plus. Okay, so it will be cell E2 plus E3 plus E4 plus E5, then you press enter. But when you're adding even 4 items, guys, even 4 items, when you're adding 4, 5, 10, 20 items, just utilize the sum function. It is going to simplify your life. Moving to the other question, here we're given that the average sales for how many months? 5 months, amounted to how much? 1 million. It was given from this question that the average sales for 5 months amounts to 5 million. So what do we need to calculate here? Here we need to calculate using Excel function the month 3 sales and the month 4 sales, given that the business is made same amount during those 2 months. So on the cell A, we have the number of months from month 1 up until month 8. B, we have sales generated during each specific month. But notice month 3 and 4 sales, they are not given. So what do we need to do? This is what you need to do. Given that the average sales for those first 5 months, it is 1 million. Determine month 3 and 4 sales. So press equals to always. Press equals to always. Okay, so what are we doing now? Open a bracket. It will be 5. Why 5? We have average sales of 1 million. Then you go and click on 1 million. Minus, using the hyphen, open bracket again, it will be month 5 sales plus month 2 sales plus month 1 sales. After that, you close the bracket twice. Divide by 2. Then you will press enter. So for month 4, since the sales that were made by the business during those 2 months, they were the same. So you are going to use the same formula. Start by pressing equals to, open bracket, 5 times what? The average sales of 1 million times, minus, using the hyphen, open bracket, it will be month 5 sales. What did I do now here? Something went wrong. So it's open bracket, shift open bracket, it will be month 5 sales plus month 2 plus month 1. Close bracket twice, divide using / divide by 2, then you press enter. So remember, we're still doing introduction to Excel. I will introduce you to some more advanced techniques or skills that you can use here. Okay, here for this recording, please make sure that you watch part 2. Part 2 I'll make sure that I introduce some advanced Excel techniques. All right, so here, calculating the total, go to cell B10 and calculate the total sales. Total sales, it will be equals to, you start typing sum, double click on sum. Here we're adding more values, so you'll highlight, go and click exactly on the first item that you wish to highlight, then you highlight all the way down. Highlighting, you left click and hold, you drag all the way down from B2 up until B9, press enter, you'll have total sales. Calculating the percentage sales, it will be equals to month 1 sales, divide using / month total sales. So it's month 1 sales, divide using / divided by total sales, and then you multiply by 100. So for the following month as well, for just introducing Excel, guys, this is what you can do. Again, you repeat the same process, but I will show you on part 2 what you can do to just a shortcut or what you need to know about Excel. So each month sales divided by total, then you multiply by 100. To divide using / multiply using asterisk. Alright, so you are done calculating the percentage contribution. So what you need to do as well is to create the pie chart. How to create the pie chart? Let's create the pie chart using the percentage contribution. Creating the pie chart, guys, you will select, click on cell C1, and then you just highlight all the way to cell C10. Can you notice that I'm also including the percentage contribution there? Click on insert, recommended charts, go to the pie option, 2D pie, 3D pie, click on 3D pie. After that, you can just select one of the options that they are clear there. So please make sure that inside your pie segments, everything is perfectly clear. So you can give your pie chart a proper name as well. Let's move to the other spreadsheet, where now we need to calculate the percentage of sales. We have items again on cell A, we have fraction, we need to calculate the percentage of sales. Percentage of sales given the fraction of sales equals to, you click on cell B2, not manually typing 1/5 or B2, and then you multiply using the asterisk, multiply by 100, then you press enter, equals to, again, for introduction to Excel, guys, fraction, multiply using asterisk, then you press enter, equals to, you are repeating the same process. Okay, so you know how to multiply now. But what you can do as well, remember, you can just drag all the way down, go and click there and drag all the way down, then Excel will populate formulas. So here they want beverage with the highest sales percentage, the name of the beverage with the highest sales. So for introduction to Excel, you just click on equals to, you go and click on cappuccino, then you'll have the name of the beverage. Food with the highest sales equals to food muffin, click on muffin, A5, press enter. Combined beverages sales equals to combined beverages sales. It will be the 20 cell C2 plus cell C3, which is 10, plus cell C4, which is 8,33. Then you press enter. Equals to combined food sales. Combined food sales. Now you're adding more items. You can use the sum function again. Equals to sum. Double click on sum. So you're highlighting from 25 up until 3,3. Shift close bracket. Press enter. Check if we have another Excel spreadsheet. Here we need to check the question. Guys. Let me pause. Okay, so in this spreadsheet, guys, as you can see, we're given the class intervals on cell A, B, frequency, C. We need to calculate the percentage of deliveries. Okay, so from the frequency, from the question, the frequency for the class interval between 30 to 39, it was 3. 40 to 49, I'm not quite sure, but you can just insert any number. 9. Number from 50 to 59, 11. 8. 60 to 69, 8. 8. Again, we're just inserting any values here, but on your side, the frequency you obviously need to check from the question here. The question, it was about the number of deliveries that were completed between firstly 30 to 39 minutes. How many deliveries? Then you write the frequency, the number of deliveries. From 40 to 49, how many deliveries were completed? So this is not really important now, guys. I'm just highlighting here. And then from 60 to 69, 8, 70 to 79, just to give any values. But for Excel purposes, the information that I'm sharing is not really important. Okay, I think we have 3 here, and there's 2. We can say 10, it's fine. The last deliveries that were completed between 100 to 109 minutes. So what you want to do now is to calculate the total number of deliveries. So you're going to add, after adding, shift close bracket, enter. So you have the total number of deliveries. Then you can calculate there percentage will be each month deliveries, each frequency deliveries. You divide using the / divide by total, then you multiply by 100. We clear. Then moving forward, you repeat the same process, divide by the total, and then you will multiply by 100. Okay, and then let's continue repeating the same process. All right, so we continue, please. So let's check the other question there. Deliveries completed in less than 60 minutes. So equals to, now we are going to add using the plus. So you add the first 4, is it 4 or 3? So you just add there the first 4. But my attention here, guys, is to show you how to create the is it the histogram? Yes, histogram using the frequency. So I'm going to use the frequency to create the histogram. So what you do first is to highlight. Step number 1, highlight. Highlighting including the frequency, the number of deliveries that were completed. So you click on insert. After insert, just under view, or don't click on view, I'm just saying under view, you'll see recommended charts. Click on the first one. You have 2D column, 3D column. Let's utilize 3D. After that, on the chart, go to the top right of the chart. You will have chart elements. You tick the first 4 and remove grid lines. So on your own time, you need to make sure that you know how to properly edit, how to properly name your vertical axis, horizontal axis, and the chart. So what I need you to pay attention carefully here, you go to one of the bars. Can you see the bars inside the pie chart? Sorry, the chart. Right click using the middle finger. Right click, not left. Right click using the middle finger. After that, what do? You go to Format Data Series. Go to Format Data Series. Go to Format Data Series. You right click one of the bars, Format Data Series. Please close the gap width. Close the gap width to 0. After closing the gap width to 0, notice that now you have what? You no longer have spaces in between. So go to series options. Can you see series options? The first option, fill a line. Click on fill and line. Fill, click on fill. Use solid fill. Solid fill. After that, you can change the color if you want, and then make sure that your chart looks professional and clean. Okay, so you can increase the transparency there. Increase the transparency until you are satisfied. You can see properly see everything. After you go to border, it will be solid line. After solid line, you increase the width. Increase the width. You can see the chart is changing now. It is changing now, and then you can change the color as well if you want. Use any color, not red, guys. Maybe different color, not that color as well. Okay, just any color that you will see that make your work clean and professional. So you can, for presentation purposes, you can use the spreadsheets. You can use the chart to enhance your presentation. So let's check if we have one more last question. Question 7. So the last spreadsheet that we're given there, we have contribution. We have 4 people who started a business: Tabo, Lirato, Nkosi, Ayanda. They've started a business. Tabo contributed how much? 300,000 to start the business. Lirato contributed 200,000, Nkosi 100,000, Ayanda, it is how much? 400,000. So what you want to do now is to calculate the contribution as the ratio. To calculate the contribution as the ratio, this is what you need to do. Firstly, you need to find the highest common factor, a number that you can use to divide 300,000, 200,000, 100,000, and the 400,000. So the common factor here, it will be 100,000. On cell F2, please make sure that you have the common factor. So the common factor for this example, it will be 100,000. Manually type 100,000. Then you press enter. Let's go and calculate the ratios now. The ratios will be equals to calculating the contribution as a ratio for the first partner, Tabo. Click on the amount that he contributed, cell B2, divide using forward slash, divide by the common factor 100,000, the one that you wrote aside, Lirato, equals to again the amount that Lirato contributed, and then you divide by the common factor, then you press enter. Nkosi, it will be 100,000 divided by 100,000, then you press enter. Ayanda equals to the 400,000 divided by the 100,000. So I hope you can see what's happening here. So what you want to do now on cell F4 is to calculate the total contribution as the ratio. You can use the sum function or plus. Okay, let's just use the plus since we're adding only a few items. It's 3B4 plus C4 2 plus D4 1 plus E4 4, and then you press enter. You now have the total contribution as a ratio. So on cell F5, please press equals to and manual type 600,006 with how many zeros? 5. So let's now calculate what? Given that the share of 30 years profit is how much? 600,000. How much will each partner get from the 600,000? So equals to, click on 600,000, multiply using the asterisk, and then you multiply by what? Turbo's contribution, divide using / divide by 10, press enter. Lirato, it will be equals to, the first year profit is how much? 600,000. That's why I wrote the 600,000 on the spreadsheet, so that we can avoid having to manually type 600,000 over and over again. Times what? Lirato's contribution, then you divide by the total contribution, press enter, equals to 600,000 times contribution as a ratio, divide by 10, click on 10, press enter. Here you are just dividing and multiplying. So this is the nice thing about Excel. Once you know that when you're multiplying you use the asterisk, when you're dividing / minus is the hyphen, you can just start playing around with the Excel okay. So lastly guys, we are given that Lirato's share, given that let's say Lirato's share from the total profit, which here fifth year from Lirato's share from the total profit fifth year, it was 198,000. So how do we calculate fifth year's profit if Lirato's share from the total profit was 198,000? If Lirato's share from the total profit was 198,000, this is what you need to do. You press equals to, and then you go to Lirato's share from the total profit that you don't know, the fifth year's profit. Then you multiply using the asterisk, multiply by 10, you divide by what? By Lirato's contribution, which is 2, divide using / and then you press enter, you will have the fifth year's profit. So please make sure that you check part 2, where now I'm going to go to introduce the advanced Excel skills. All right, so thank you for watching. I will see you on the next one.